Hi, good evening and welcome back to Prime of Midlife. I didn't particularly intend making this video this evening, but as I came through to make my final cup of tea of the evening, as you can hear with the kettle, this 30p meal from Lee Anderson, some MP down in the House of Commons, saying that the reason that there's a problem is that people don't know how to cook and they don't know how to budget. This is from a man who's making over 80,000 a year, can put most of his bills on expenses. If he wants to eat, if he wants to heat something, he can put most of that in expenses. He has no clue. Going to visit a food bank and saying, oh look, we can show them how to make a meal for 30p each. Are you having a laugh? 30p for a meal? No chance. The only way you can make a meal for 30p is if you have made previous meals and you're dealing with the leftovers. That's the only way to do a meal for 30p, and believe you me, it's a bulked out meal made with whatever you've got left over. You cannot feed someone a proper meal for 30p from scratch. He's saying, oh, that's from scratch cooking. Well, yeah, I'm quite sure it is from scratch cooking. You can boil your rice or your pasta to, a cup of rice is probably worth about 10p. Your leftovers from your chicken, which you had, like, this is the last bits that you're pulling off the bones, or your last bit of ham or something, or possibly even veggies, so you've got your onions, your peas, your carrots, whatever you've got left in the freezer in the bottom of the bag. Yes, anyone can throw that together. That is not a way to live. Certainly not in the UK. We're supposed to be a first world country. Why we would expect our residents to live like that day in, day out, just beggars belief. And then we have his friend who's like, oh, he did a fabulous article. I was with him last year where you can feed a family of 5 for a week on £50. You might have been able to do that a year ago. You absolutely cannot do that this year, let me tell you. Because the price of cooking has gone up, the price of electricity has gone up, the price of food's gone up, the price of everything's gone up. So has your taxes. So what cost you £50 odd last year is going to cost you an awful lot more this year. Also, just while I'm thinking about it, I live rural. I am 3 miles from the nearest shop. So, what he's budgeting for walk along the road to Tesco's or Aldi's or Lidl, because obviously everyone knows they're cheaper, walk along the road to your nearest cheap supermarket. We don't have that option. People who live in small towns don't have that option. Even my nearest shop, which is 3 miles away, the local supermarket is a local co-op. Now, I know for a fact I just got an Asda order this evening, because obviously still can't drive. Diet Coke, 2 litre bottles. Up until the last order I had, 2 bottles for £3, £1.50 a bottle. Right, they've just gone up to £1.77 a bottle. No offer on them this time. Like, okay, I accept that. Approximately, well, before Christmas, it was £2.79 for a 1.75 litre in our local shop. 3 miles away. So not only do people who live in smaller towns have to budget to get to the shops, we also have to budget for the prices being more. And we've got this man standing in the comments saying, you just don't know how to cook, you just don't know how to budget. Oh my goodness, believe you me, we know how to budget. We have been budgeting for a long time and we know an awful lot more about it than you. The absolute just ignorance of the man completely irks me. As you can tell, I am irked. I am probably going red even as I'm speaking. People are struggling to put on their electricity. People are struggling to put on their gas. People are asking food banks to not give them anything that needs cooked because they can't afford to put the power on. People are standing in checkouts and putting their stuff on the conveyor belt in a specific order so that they can say to the checkout operator, when it gets to that price, you stop, and anything that doesn't make it, that's just what I have to put back. So your absolute essentials are at the front and the things that you don't need as much are at the back. But this 30p a meal is just an insult. It's a complete insult. And the fact that this man was elected to represent us, I don't know who he represents, but it's certainly not the majority of the people in the UK. Just utter ridiculous. And this is why I'm on here just now, because I was cross. So I thought I would just come and let you know and say, do you know something? See if you're cross, let me know in the comments below. Because these people sitting in London saying, oh, well, you don't know how to cook, you don't know how to budget, you can eat 30 pence a meal. Yes, you probably can eat 30 pence a meal. I'm quite sure at the end of the week when I've got leftovers, I could make a meal for myself that costs 30 pence. Quite easily. A bowl of soup. That's a meal. If you put enough bulking in it, a bowl of soup is easily 30 pence. Not a problem. A fried rice with bits of whatever's left over. Not a problem. A pasta bake with bits of whatever's left over. Not a problem. Easily done for 30 pence. That is not a diet that people can live on and stay healthy. So I don't know what's in his head, but the fact that he thinks that it's okay to stand up in the Houses of Parliament where people are elected to represent us and supposedly look after our lives. What is going on with that? So, there you go. From rural Scotland, I shall sign out now before I say anything I shouldn't. I hope you have a good evening, and let's see how the rest of the reports come in on him.